Welcome to Offensive. And we don't have a joke again, but we're actually live. Hey, all the people out there watching, Soder, who's still awake, right? And not falling asleep because you're drinking some, nightcaps over there. He waiting up all these hours being like, where is Offensive? I waited all weekend to get my fix, to watch Handsome Eddie and Neckbeard and Chief over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, all 4 time zones are covered on this show. Could you possibly get more of your fill of NFL football goodness? Probably not.
Never.
Probably not. We only had an hour of technical issues. Then we recorded accidentally not live for an hour. And then we went to the bathroom. But now we've got 4 things. And Neckbeard is going to guide us through 4 NFL football teams of gridiron American football, of teams that play in the NFC North.
Can I make one request?
Uh-oh.
Hype is talking about the NFL goodness. Let's start with the Vikings, which is the exact opposite of NFL goodness.
Straight to hell.
Straight to hell.
I like how the Bears fan is leading us down a dark path. That's what they're good at.
Yeah. Well, shoot, I gotta upload the Viking stuff because I got the Bears stuff already ready to go.
Oh, you were ready for darkness.
I wasn't ready for darkness because they're the least important.
We'll do it live.
So,
we canceled it just like Bears canceled family practice night.
How about this? Let's start, instead of the Vikings, let's start with a team that finished last and see where they will go this year. We'll start with the Detroit Lions. You guys good with that? Then we'll go to Minnesota. All right, so let's start with the Detroit Lions offseason. Actually, let's do it this way. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's start with the Detroit Lions offseason. Let's make sure that Eddie's here so he can talk a bunch of crack. And yes, Soder's awake, barely. Soder, we know you got 4 more drinks in this
better
hour.
Be entertaining, you said.
Yeah, we're definitely
You watched the Packers in the 70s. This is better than any of that was.
I mean, I would hope so. All right, let's jump into the Detroit Lions offseason. Now, it says they signed Isaac Pacheco. I'm sorry, that's not true. He went to the Chiefs. Screw you, AI. But they did sign Teddy Bridgewater, Kate Mays.
He's on.
No, he is on the Lions.
Oh, he did. Oh, you're right. That's right. He did go there. I'm sorry. He left Kansas City to go to the
I have
Lions.
on my fantasy team, guys. He's going to be good.
Sorry. I'm sorry. So this is the thing about the Lions is like, I don't see anybody here that moves the needle for them. Conklin's like a backup. Dortch is like a 4th rounder.
Teddy Bridgewater today announced he's retiring again.
I would have too if I played for the Lions.
I mean, yeah, you go to a couple practices and they ask you to bite knees and you're like, I'm a quarterback that gives to charity. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and retire.
He played just to get more money so he could give it to his high school team. I'll be a backup quarterback.
No, great guy. So, yeah, the Lions haven't really made a lot of noise this offseason. And then let's talk about who they lost. I mean, everyone knows Terry and Arnold got released, right? Alex Anzalone is one of their better defensive linemen.
He was good.
Amik Robinson's been okay for them. Khalif Raymond's been a pretty consistent wide receiver. DJ Reader.
DJ Reader's decent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see a lot that the Lions added to get better. So do you guys think they were just waiting to fill in the draft? Do you think it's because they wanted to save money so they could sign Jahmyr Gibbs to this big contract, right, which he just got? Yeah. They just played Hutchinson. They're paying Laporta. And I think next year Goff's contract's up, so maybe they weren't going heavy in this offseason because they knew they had a bunch of contracts coming up, which, makes sense. But do you think, I don't know, let's take a look at the Lions draft. Okay. So, beautiful image of Detroit there with the Lions, the Lions practice uniforms, hanging up on the fence.
Why? Because they're criminals?
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. But I do think they had a good draft. So I like Abney. I think Derek Moore's decent. They definitely needed Blake Miller. So they kind of filled gaps. But to me this year, the Lions, I think maybe because they have such a terrible schedule or a terribly easy schedule and they have all these contracts coming up, they kind of had a quiet offseason. So, Hype, I'm going to start with you. Like, do you think the Lions are a real threat to win this division just because of their schedule and their current roster, or do you think they didn't do enough to actually compete with the Packers and the Bears?
The thing about the Lions is the whole team revolves around the offensive line. Their offensive line has to be a top 3 offensive line or else Jared Goff gets exposed. So, like, they might look and feel like a good team. They're flying around, bite kneecaps. They're, like, scoring points. They've got great wide receivers, great running back. The problem is, though, Jared Goff can't really make the big plays when the offensive line isn't playing elite. He can't run around and do all the things that modern quarterbacks do. He's like a pocket guy that turns into a pumpkin at times and throws 4 picks. So the problem with that is that like that can like go downhill quick. You know what I'm saying? Like if your offensive line's not blocking well and you're kind of like feeling like you're playing well, but you're not winning games, that's tough. And what their last place last year, I think the division is going to be just as good and tougher, if not more than last year. And yes, they have a less difficult schedule, but I think that the Lions are one of those teams where people like think they're really good, so they're going to play them tough. And I think they're not going to have a good season. I think their season's not going to go how they want, and I think they're going to end up in like 3rd place again or near the bottom.
I think that's plausible. I don't think they could finish 4th again. I mean, they really should.
No, I mean third.
Yeah, they fell apart. They should have finished 3rd. They fell apart at the end. They finished 4th.
But that's what I'm saying. They're going to fall apart. Jared Goff, if that offensive line can't block well for him, he's going to get torn up.
I mean, but like looking at their 2025, even with the harder schedule, they were still 4th in points scored, 5th in total yards, 3rd in passing yards, and 6th in DVOA. Rushing took a bit of a step back because of that offensive line. And, dude, this is crazy. I just saw this stat the other day. They had 6 turnovers in that Minnesota game where they lost. They had 8 the entire year before that game, and they had 6 in that game.
That's because Goff turned into a pumpkin. He started throwing picks.
They mentally fell apart, I feel like. Maybe it was the stress because, like, dude, they weren't getting their 4th downs. They weren't winning at the end of games. Like, and we know this team is good enough to win games like that. They still won 9 games. They got an easier schedule now. To me, I feel like they got to win at least 11 or 12. But, Eddie, I'm going to take it to you now. Do you think the Lions are a 12-win team that just had a hiccup?
No.
Or do you think this is the start of, like, something like they're falling down?
Well, they drafted and they brought in free agency who they got because they just had to fill holes. They didn't get anything sexy. They didn't do anything right. They lost the players and they replenished. They didn't get better. I don't see them as – I see them as a 3rd place team just like Doug because it's the sustainability they had those first 2 years under Dan Campbell. They're going for it on 4th down, doing all this great stuff. That's never been sustainable. That's what showed last year, and they've done nothing to get their team over the hump. It just got younger in the offensive line, unproven. Guys are retiring there. It's getting back to mediocrity. They got a lot of big signings. They got Gibbs. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Their defense is still just absolute question marks all around.
Defense, backs, and linebackers.
I mean, they love drafted Michigan guys. They got two of them. They got Rashawn Gary Clone and Derek Moore. I think that's the edge rusher. They lost Terry Arnold. It's bad. It's a bad defense, a good offense, but as Doug elegantly said, that offensive line starts showing problems. And Jared Goff becomes a true statue that any defensive line can touch. So they
Dave,
stink.
I'll go to you now because the Lions, if you actually look at their defensive DVOA, have been better than we kind of feel like they are. Like when you know what I mean? Like I don't think a lot about the Lions defense being any good, maybe because their offense is so good. But their DVOA was still 9th in the league last year, but they just give up a ton of points. Do you think it's a lack of talent on defense? Do you think it's because the offense scores so much that teams get in a track meet with them and have to score more? Like, what do you think this Lions defense can offer this year, Dave? Do you think it's enough for them to win the division?
I think that, yeah, it's equal parts. The offense is always scoring points so that so the other team has to try to keep up them, kind of like what any team that faces the Bengals has to do. I really like, Jack Campbell, that linebacker who they took in the 1st round a couple years ago. Everyone was scratching their head. He is solid against the run. Losing Anzalone, though, that's going to be a pretty big miss for them because Anzalone, he was a fantastic outside linebacker. He could get a pass rush and everything else. Hutchinson, you can run on him. He's good for some pass rush, but he's not solid all around. They drafted the D tackle last year and whatnot. I think it's more the injuries that they had in the secondary. They were there last year. They're going to have issues in the secondary again. I think that is their Achilles heel. I think Campbell can cover up some of the warts on the run game, but yeah, ultimately it's going to be the secondary that's going to fail this team. Offensive line, which you talked about earlier, they've invested quite a bit in that offensive line with 1st and 2nd round picks. Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany, who I loved a couple of years ago. Now you got Blake Miller, first round pick, Penei Sewell. I would have kept him at right tackle. Honestly, when you have a stud, when he's the best in the league at a position, like Ben Johnson said, for Darnell Wright, you keep him there. You build everything around that. So I think it's questionable that Dan Campbell is making that move. I understand that Miller played 4 years at right tackle in college, but I'd keep your strength to strength. But it'll be an interesting team, but ultimately it's going to be the secondary that is their Achilles heel. They'll go 10-7. It'll be a lot of exciting games, but
I think there's no question Penei Sewell's the best right tackle in the NFL, like probably by a mile. And no offense to our guy, but like he is the best right tackle in the NFL. So
and Lane Johnson last year.
I think Lane Johnson is getting so old that, like, I'm not saying he's not good, but like Penei Sewell is just a level above.
Oh yeah, he's better.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so moving him to left tackle, he's going to be good, but you're going to miss out. Yeah, you're going to miss out on what he provided Jahmyr Gibbs on that right side. And yeah, maybe he's not as good on the left as he is on the right. He's been there 5 years on the right, 4 years on the right.
Right.
So yeah. All right. Well, that's the Lions. They don't
feel
like a fourth place team. Go ahead,
can I guess
Eddie.
one more thing on the line? Because their offensive output's going to look extremely good this year because they're going to play a lot of bad teams, and Dan Campbell loves to just pour it on bad teams. But then they're going to play the NFC North, and their numbers are going to be so significantly lower because they're not going to be able to control the ball like they will against the Titans and the Jets and the Raiders, the bad teams that they're going to be able to expose, because that is what these Lions do. You look over these Dan Campbell periods, they beat up bad on big teams, so that all their numbers look extremely inflated. But when they play a competent football team, it is always so much lower. So when they look at these offensive ranks, it's going to be so extremely skewed. I expect to see this basically the same output that they're having now, if not a little bit more on the offense, and that defense is going to take a big tank. They're going to get overhyped because of their soft schedule, and even if they are a 10-11 win team, they're going to be the first outs in the playoffs because their defense is not going to be able to hold up, and they're not going to have any adversity playing against a tough team.
Well,
And
the thing is
funny.
that the Lions were super good those couple of years, like before last year, because they could just run the ball and control the clock and do whatever they want in offense, even though they scored a lot of points last year. But when your offensive line isn't dominating, you don't just they would just control the game. Like they would just wear you out by the end of the game. Like you just couldn't do nothing against them. Now, like their offensive line is having some holes poked in it, and especially in the middle of the offensive line, and they can't do that anymore. They have to hope and pray they outscore you.
And they got a new offensive coordinator this year, right? New guy calling the plays, I think.
Yeah, Drew Petzing coming from Arizona because that offense looks so good.
That offense was amazing last year.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of amazing offenses, you guys want to talk about the Vikings now? You want to talk about
skip them?
Speaking of the Arizona Cardinals and Drew
Oh my
Petzing.
God. All right. So everybody knows they brought in Kyler Murray, who couldn't win the job in Arizona to start for his own team. So he moves up to Minnesota, and they think that he's going to get fixed by Kevin O'Connell, the fraud, which I do not believe. But, they bring in Eric Wilson, Carson Wentz, Johnny Hecker. I mean, not a lot here, honestly, in free agency. They lose Harrison Smith to retirement. Jalen Naylor, who is their third receiver, Jonathan Allen and Hargrove are both gone, which is why they drafted, those 2D tackles. I don't feel like the Vikings did anything to get better, and everyone's focusing on Kyler coming in, and he's getting outplayed by JJ McCarthy in practice from like what some reports are saying. And if you're getting outplayed by JJ McCarthy, that is a very, very bad sign.
And there's signs that he can't learn the playbook very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And
always
GTA
that.
6 comes out in November.
That's right. Madden's out. GTA 6 is out.
I mean, he's got a world of trouble coming his way.
The Vikings are going to start like 5-0. GTA 6 releases. Boom. No wins.
It's just like when he started 6-0 with the Arizona Cardinals a few years ago. Then we were about a week away from the Call of Duty game coming out, and he played the Packers on a Thursday night, and everything else after that, we broke them, and they went down into shit after that.
All right, let's go to the Vikings draft. So everyone knows they took Caleb Banks pretty early with the injury history, and then they took Dominique Orange. So they doubled up on D tackle, which they needed to since they let a bunch of guys go. They went pretty much exclusively defense the first 3 rounds, and then a safety in the 3rd round, a cornerback. They didn't really do a lot to help this run game. I mean, Caleb Tiernan's an okay offensive lineman. I don't think he moves the needle at all for me at all. Bregston's a freaking Kyle Juszczyk kind of guy, tight end fullback, which, okay, I guess if that's the offense you're running. And then Claiborne out of Wake Forest isn't a bad player, but
He can run.
he's fast. But like, again, this Vikings running game was not helping. And then when you don't have a real quarterback, like, what are you doing to help them out? So, like, this Vikings draft seemed defensive centric when they already had a really good defense. Do you think they went the right way with that? Do you think they should have focused on offense? Dave, I'll start with you. What did you think about the Vikings offseason and how they handled it so far?
Part of what jammed the Vikings up so much a couple of years ago is they spent big money to get expensive defensive tackles. So that kind of got them in salary cap trouble. So I really do like them going double tapping and getting 2 defensive linemen, which I think these 2, if they work out, it could be pretty damn dynamic. Just because of the way that they complement each other, and these guys are both large animals. You cannot move these guys very easily, provided that Caleb Banks is healthy. I like them picking up Jake Golday just to play behind them. He should be able to play clean behind these 2 big guys. So I like their philosophy, even though the defense is a strength. Just stick with it, because Brian Flores is going to be your head coach next year. As you've been saying, I like Damon Claiborne.
Yep,
he got a 70-yard run off the left tackle yesterday using a jump to the outside and whatnot. Because your running backs are already so old with Aaron Jones. Jordan Mason is, never really good for a full season and whatnot. So I think they just looked at what the draft. They looked at what's going to be out there next year. And remember, did they even have a general manager for the draft this year?
No.
They fired theirs right before the draft. So this is the owner saying, okay, my future head coach, I'm going to give him what he needs to get this team locked down. And then he looks to see what's going to be out there possibly for next year's draft. That'll be the year to get some offensive players. That'll be the year to get some running backs, some wide receivers, get some quarterbacks. That's when you start to build that. And if you're going to have a young quarterback next year, you're going to have a lockdown defense that will help them next year. So.
My people, I'm telling you, O'Brien is an overrated coach. I don't know. I don't know why people think he's this quarterback whisperer. I mean, just look what he did with JJ last year. Like, is JJ that bad? Is he worse than Jamarcus Russell? Like, I don't know.
Because he was able to take a number 5 quarterback and beat the Bears 12-9 on Thursday Night Football 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're great. You could score 12 points with whoever the hell the quarterback was that given night.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Hey,
They
going
need
after
Baker
Baker,
Mayfield.
I think Baker would do really well in Minnesota. He's already established, which is what Kevin O'Connell needs. He can't actually teach, but if he's not there and they got Flores, right?
Soder's fired up.
I told you Soder had a couple extra drinks. So, all right.
The golf simulator. He's going to install a golf simulator into his
Wait,
office.
Derek, can you go back to that last picture? That last. Micah Parsons sacked him in that image.
Oh, and that one.
I knew I picked that one for a reason. Yeah, I knew I picked that one for a reason.
That's a
So
Micah.
there
That's a
you go.
Micah Parsons sack image right there.
Perfect. Yeah, so let's look at that offense, guys. 26 in
good
points,
God.
28th in total yards, 29th in passing, 23rd in rushing, 28th in passing DVOA. And we're like the Browns and the Jets existed last year, guys. So like realistically, like you can take those 2 out of it. Like 12th in rushing DVOA, okay, not that bad. JJ McCarthy, 32nd overall for all quarterbacks, QBR of 35.6. Absolutely horrific on offense. Horrific. And we all knew their defense was good, right? We all knew third overall in DVOA. They blitzed. They're going to cause a lot of trouble. They won a lot of games ugly with their defense making plays. Some people think they're a sneaky team to make the playoffs. Eddie, tell me about these Vikings. Do they have a chance to make the playoffs?
It's so weird because Justin Jefferson is just so damn good. Like, it is just hard to bet
But they
against
found
that
a way
guy.
to ruin him somehow.
I know, like that's the thing. It's like because when they feature Justin Jefferson, he can beat NFL defenses and win NFL games by himself.
not last year.
Not
I'm
against
saying
Jerry
no.
Ellington.
I'm saying or against Jair, but I'm saying when they feature him and he's getting the ball 10, 11, 12 times
Mhm.
and he becomes a factor, he takes over games, and he didn't have that at all last year. And there's only one guy to blame, and that guy to blame is Kevin O'Connell. It's not the quarterback. It's not everything else. It
wasn't his 18 gold chains weighing him down?
now that is a conversation worth having. But when you have a guy that like Justin Jefferson, who is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, the best receiver in the NFL. You got to be able to find ways to get him the ball more, and they just didn't do that, and they didn't help themselves out because I don't know if Kyler is going to be able to even do that any better than what J.J. McCarthy's doing, because it seems like it's more of a system thing than it is a quarterback thing. Their defense is always going to be good. Brian Flores is a top 3 defensive coach in the league. He should have been a head coach by now, and outside of being screwed by Miami.
Yeah, I think that Miami thing just kind of
It's a bad deal.
It put a bad deal on him for other owners being afraid to hire him, right? But he's been in Minnesota. They know who he is. Kevin O'Connell is a joke. Honestly, my hope is that the Vikings do win 7 or 8 games again and miss out on and don't fire Kevin O'Connell and miss out on getting one of these quarterbacks in this year's draft.
That's what they're going to do.
And try to still go with McCarthy.
Yes.
Like that's my best scenario.
Win
so
9 games again.
They're good. They're
ahead,
not bad
Minnesota.
enough to draft top 10. They're
That's
not bad enough
I
to
hope
do that.
they win 7 or 8, 9 games and they keep Kevin O'Connell and they stay in this mode.
Kevin
of
O'Connell will
mediocrity.
have to go play quarterback for them to draft top 10. That's how bad they need to be.
Yeah, that's true. Even with JJ McCarthy, they still won 9 games, which is like one of the worst quarterbacks ever. So that does tell you something. But I don't think Kyler moves the needle. I just don't think he moves the needle. I mean, if the Arizona Cardinals don't want you anymore, that's not a good sign. Everybody,
we got Jonathan Gannon. Whoa. We got Jonathan Gannon as our DC.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know.
You beat me to the punch.
I'm not. Hey, I said what I said. I said what I said.
But I think Dave made a great point when he was talking about like the owner really set up Flores, because what was it? 4 of his first 6 picks were all defense and especially interior. I mean, you're really setting up because you're investing in the trenches, and 2 of those 4 picks is inside the line, and then you have a Galladay who can be a freak athlete if he puts it all together. So you're really putting all of that investment into there. So that makes sense, where it's kind of a streamline to Kevin O'Connell needs to have a 15-2 season that he had with Kirk Cousins a couple years ago to probably keep his job. I don't know what he could possibly do that's going to keep his job.
I mean, if they make the playoffs, I don't think they're firing him if he makes the playoffs. They'll get, because this Minnesota franchise too, the way the owners run it, like it seems like they just want to make money and just be competitive and not go for the championship.
There's a big thing guys are missing here, right? Part of the thing is like there's a big rift where I think the coaching staff didn't want J.D. McCarthy, the GM got him. So now the ownership's looking at it being like, hey, it wasn't the coach's fault. Let's reset everything and give him another chance. So I don't think that they're just going to fire this guy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I hope they don't. Minnesota is mediocrity. Here's a fun trivia question. Which city with all 4 major sports has the least amount of championships?
Minnesota.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Minneapolis, St. Paul. By a mile.
Put me on ESPN Jeopardy with that one.
By a mile, by the way. It's really bad. Like Minnesota's cursed, man, and I'm here for it. I'm all about it. So, sorry.
Tech Jedi is
sorry,
sorry,
Tech Jedi, but sorry, not sorry though.
Well, he feels the same way, just like the other 3 NFC North teams feel, or the other 2.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, Derek's muted. Hold on.
I was going to say, he knows Minnesota's Super Bowl is beating the Packers. The Bears know that, and they're pretending like it's not, but it's still beating the Packers, and you guys know it. So.
No, there was a report that they said literally in the locker room, that's all they do is to talk about beating the Packers, even this offseason. So there we go.
I'll be collecting my rent on week 5.
And
all right. Now, speaking of Hammond, Indiana, let's go to the Bears offseason, and let's talk about the Bears. So, Dave, walk me through this. You guys picked up quite a few guys. Who stands out on this list that's going to have a big impact? Why do you think it's going to make the team better? Kind of walk me through some of these fellas.
Obviously the biggest splash we had is Kobe Bryant, but due to him being out 8 to 10 weeks, Cam Lewis may be the most impactful signing that we had in the offseason. He played in Buffalo for a long time, working every spot in the rotation. He can be a safety. He can work a slot. And that's basically what the Bears had to do, right? So I think it's that versatility, especially when you're getting walloped with injuries like we are. You need somebody who can be all over. So even if he comes back, from his injury today, then we can have the other guy who drawing a blank here. Sorry about this. I believe it was Xavier Woods. Leave him, let him play at safety and whatnot. Let just Cam Lewis or the slot or go wherever he needs to as our number 2 corner. while we try to get Muhammad up. It's scary though, having Muhammad and Thieneman, 2 rookies in your secondary to try to hold it down right away, because Muhammad's getting first round. He's getting a couple of first team reps already.
Wait, let me answer Tech Jedi's question, because that's a good question. Like, Tech Jedi, I'm a pretty well-known LaFleur hater. I talk crap about LaFleur all the time.
You take
Would I
Aaron
take-
Glenn over LaFleur.
Fuck that. No. What? No. Doug would, because Aaron Glenn is Doug's favorite coach of all time.
Well,
Oh,
do
he's
you
one
agree
right.
with Colin? Do you agree with what Colin Cowherd said about LaFleur yesterday?
To a point. I think LaFleur is a bit of a coward in the playoffs, but I don't think
Can we just give him? I just love the quote. Should we bring it up?
No, but I
He's
think
soft
I
as
think Ben
brie cheese in a
Johnson's-
town that loves aged cheddar.
Look,
He's a
listen.
fancy.
Ben Johnson had a great first year with the Bears. LaFleur took the Packers to the NFC Championship game his first year. Bears didn't even get that far, and then he went back
With
the next year.
Aaron Rodgers.
True. Well, you
Ain't
guys
no
have Caleb
defense.
Williams, who's so good, Dave. He's so great. So I'm just saying, like, LaFleur has issues. This is Ben Johnson's first year. Let me give Ben Johnson 2 or 3 years. I feel like he has more potential than LaFleur. But as of right now, it's still just one season. Let's see how it plays out. But as an offensive mind, I think Ben Johnson might be the 2nd or 3rd best in the NFL, and I think LaFleur's like probably the 5th or 6th best offensive mind in the NFL. That's just
Vinny's
me
made
personally.
the biggest comment I've ever seen. So
right.
it almost covers Dave.
Yeah, you almost covered both of us.
Cherish the smile, Dave. Yeah.
Well, I think honestly, Ben Johnson, I think the way that the organization is set up, he has a lot of weight in who we're going to draft, right? I don't think LaFleur has that same weight. I think Green Bay definitely has a separation of powers. He has some input, but I think there's a separation between him and the GM versus in Chicago. I believe that the owner just, told Poles, hey, you want to keep your job, you get him whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that-
he ain't been able to draft well, so that was probably a
No.
good decision by the
And
ownership.
the Packers
Mhm.
have a system in place that's bigger than the coach. The Bears are so happy to have Ben Johnson that they're like, yeah, whatever you want. Our defense is terrible. You want 4 straight offensive picks? Sure, whatever you want, buddy. You know what I
Right.
mean? So they're kind of kowtowing to him, which after his first year of winning the division is understandable because, Chicago hadn't had a winning record or won the division since 2018, Dave. So it is
Oh, yeah.
impressive that they did that.
And I do like
you
a
know,
head coach who he schemes up the rushing game. That's his number one responsibility. So he's looking at all the blocking assignments and everything else versus, just kind of the passing and everything else. So he's setting the table. The run sets up the pass. Burden, yeah, he hurt his groin this weekend, we heard. Don't know what the severity is. He's going to be out for a little bit. Roma Dunze, he's been making, I'd say 2 out of 3 practices, he's getting at least 1 touchdown catch. And a lot of them have been contested in the back of the end zone. He's through traffic. He's able to get his toes down. He made the comment about, his foot, this being his new normal and whatnot. He said he kind of misspoke. That kind of got overblown. Yeah. Oh, I got my hands right here. I'm a full supporter of it. Gotta love the hand Bears, man. Yeah, we ain't going to get 22 plus turnovers, but I do believe with the Bears offense, everyone, the key players, it's going to be their second year in the scheme. Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, they were injured all of the preseason last year, right? So they weren't getting their reps. They weren't getting that. They've had a full offseason right now, so this offense should take a step up. It sucks losing our center.
I was
But
going
when
to
you
say
have
that's
when you have 2 stud guards there to help protect the
doesn't
center,
matter.
even though it's Garrett Bradbury, who they're going to exploit Bradbury, they're going to try. But I love having Jonah Johnson there and Tooney just to help to get them a little bit of help.
And so, yeah, let's look at the Bears draft because I think it's really important. I took a picture of your home stadium and put it in the back, by the way.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That is Hammond, Indiana, by the way. So but,
That's where we had our podcast that one week. Remember?
Yeah, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So Logan Jones, again, I think a good pick for you. A little high, but whatever. If he's okay, Bradbury's going to be obviously a stopgap. But Dahlman was such a big difference in your offensive line. Yes, you brought in 3 new guys, but you went from like 28th to 2nd overall in offensive line performance. I do expect that to drop a little bit, even though I do expect the offense to be a little bit more efficient. Hopefully, Caleb, for you guys, his completion percentage is a little better this year. But I think the Bears did a good job for Ben Johnson in the draft, and they did an absolute terrible job for Dennis Allen in the draft, outside of Muhammad, who I think is a good player. But you can see they're leaning into this offense. So, Dave, tell me if you think that was a good idea or not, because you're right. They are kowtowing to Ben Johnson, and they probably should, if I'm being honest. But do you think that was a good idea to go heavy on the offensive side?
Oh, I just want to answer this question from DTV guy real quick. If the Packers didn't have so many injuries, you guys had one injury, really. It's Micah Parsons is your defense. If Micah Parsons is healthy, the Bears, Caleb was still able to run around Micah quite a bit. But yeah, I think if Micah was healthy, I think you guys probably would have won the division.
Well, Kraft was injured too.
Yeah, but he's saying even if we just had Micah, that one
Just
injury,
Micah, yeah.
that
And
we would have
Zach
won.
Baku
Yeah, we would have won.
Bellalelli.
Yeah, we would have won that game. I think. Yeah, thank you for answering that honestly, Dave.
But so yeah, they're the exact opposite philosophy of the Vikings, right? For the Vikings, it's build up the defense. The defense is going to get us to the playoffs. For the Bears, it's just like we have too many holes. We have too many big contracts on the books for this year that we're not going to get away from Gervon Dexter and whatnot. We'll be able to cut him next year, and probably cut Jalen Johnson if he doesn't have a good year this year, save an additional $16 million. So I think they're just like, nope, we're going to let the offense win the games for us. So why not just give Ben what he wants? Hopefully this will be enough for his arsenal, and then we'll start to fix the defense a little bit more next year when we have a little bit more cap flexibility. Maybe it'll be free agents will want to come to Chicago because they'll see, oh, they actually got a chance right now. So yeah, I'm fine with this philosophy and whatnot. I appreciate them getting Thieneman.
Do you think you'll have cap flexibility though once? Because do you think Caleb's going to sign his extension next offseason or the season after? Because my guess is it's going to be next offseason.
I fully expect that they're going to do with him what they did with Darnell Wright and what any intelligent
and just push it way back,
ownership
like push a lot
should
of the
do.
money back.
Well, yeah, you sign him after year 3.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up the 5th-year option, so that way when they get that huge $75 million, that won't actually be for another 2 years, right? So by that point, when it finally takes place, it'll be the 4th or 5th highest contract out there for the position. Like I said, for Darnell Wright, we're on the books right now. It looks like he's getting, number 2 tackle money right now. That ain't going to be for another 2 years, and by then it will be 5 or 6. So hopefully that's what the Bears do, and that's what I think they kind of recognize. So yeah, you'll see the big headline next year. Here's this huge contract, but we'll still have a little bit of cap flexibility for a year or 2 after that. So
we've been saying that for years, Schroeder, that the Bears have to have 10 tight ends. So. But to be fair, look at Ben Johnson's offense last year, number 1 in time of possession. That's huge, right? Think if they were any less than that, how much worse this defense might have performed, right? Because they actually weren't on the field that much. And then rushing DVOA, not great, but rushing output 3rd is pretty impressive when you think about it, right? And a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. Top 10 in points per game, 4th in total yards, right? 3rd in rushing offense, 3rd in passing DVOA. So I think the Ben Johnson offensive effect had a dramatic change to the trajectory of the Bears season. But again, if you look at those defensive numbers, Dave, outside of those interceptions at 23, which is a lot, there ain't anything good about it. So what do you expect? What do you expect the Bears to do this year? Do you think that defense is going to look about the same and the offense is just going to get a teeny bit better, which is going to be enough to keep them in the contention for the division? Or do you think there's actually some benefits or some changes that are going to come to this defense?
Just given all the injuries, I don't really see, and even without the injuries, honestly, I didn't think the defense is going to have any chance to really step up. Honestly, I think they're banking on the offense. Like I said, it's our 2 biggest additions last season, the rookies. They weren't even there for training camp, so I think that we're probably going to take a solid step up on the offense. I really do, and it may be 4 more points a game, which it's nothing to sneeze at or whatnot. So even though we're going to give up probably 1 or 2 more points a game, I think that the offense is going to help to offset it. So again, this is one of those where maybe regression, maybe we lose more, but we don't have as many wins, but we're going to be a better team. I think that might be the path. But honestly, Ben Johnson could elevate this offense a little bit more, and we can still win 11 or 12 just on the strength of his design.
Oh, Dave, you might have another fan joining you.
For $50 million and get bounced. He's gonna root for the Bears. Tech Jedi, I was just starting to like you. Don't say you're gonna start rooting for the Bears. Come on. I mean, they are the up and coming team right now. Ben Johnson, obviously a great offensive mind, did a lot with that offense, but defense wins championships. I cannot stress this enough. This has been the Packers' problem for freaking 30 years, other than the one time we did win the Super Bowl in 2010. And I worry about this Bears defense. And if I'm being honest, Dave, we've talked about this before. Certain franchises have certain identities, and the Bears' identity has been defense for 50 years. Now, they haven't been great other than the mid-'80s, so maybe it is time for a cultural shift. But I think to win in Chicago, you got to have a defense that's better than like 27th, 28th overall. That's just bad, man. So I'm a little worried for Dennis Allen this year, but maybe Booker steps up. But your secondary looks rough. Kobe Bryant's gone now for 8 to 10 weeks. Dienemann's going to take a while to figure things out. Your cornerbacks are always hurt. So yeah, it might be like watching the 1999 Rams, except for you don't win a bunch of games. You know what I mean?
Well, but yeah, like I said, we got more bodies for the defensive line. I think that's going to be the rotation. They're not going to be like the Seahawks, obviously, as far as the impact that they'll have, but it'll just be keeping fresh bodies out there. That will allow Austin Booker to be fresher so he can get those sacks in the games. I really like it. Oh, Matt Nagy.
Matt
I don't know if I'll
Nagy's
go
Dave's
that far.
favorite
I don't
coach.
know. I don't know.
Matt
if I can go
Nagy's
that
Dave's
far.
favorite coach, guys. If you ever hear him talk about Matt Nagy, it's nothing but glowing irons in his eyeballs.
Yeah, how are the New York Giants? How's that offense running so far this summer?
Heck, Jedi, that's a crazy statement.
I mean, he's a Vikings fan. He watches more of the games than we do. I'm telling you guys, Kevin O'Connell's massively overrated, and I think Vikings fans are starting to figure that out.
That's like telling a small child Santa Claus isn't real. It's just mean. That's just a mean statement.
But then it's true, though. So what he is saying is true, right?
I mean, it's just mean.
Well, last year, the Vikes, their calling card is, you have one of the best offensive tackle tandems in the league. It's just like, what about the three guys in between them, which help your running game if you have a little Aaron Jones? So, yeah, the Vikings overlooking the interior offensive line. The Packers overlooking their interior offensive line this year. It's terrible.
Hey, watch yourself, Dave.
Greg, thanks for joining. You're right. Matt Nagy, Bears legend, right? Bears legend.
Yes.
Matt Nagy, coach of the year. All right, folks. Let's get into what you're all here for. The only team in the North that actually matters, the Green Bay.
That's correct.
Packers.
And look, there's a new billboard. Wall.
Damn, somebody painted you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It must be outside Corey's house.
Vinny took a picture of this today and sent it to me.
That is awesome.
Fan art.
What kind of cake is that?
It's a strawberry shortcake.
Nice.
For the
Looks
short
like
amount of time until we win the Super Bowl.
Looks like cherries.
All right, hold on. I gotta get rid of one of these. I've got too many things in the studio. Now I gotta add one. So hold up with me, guys. Keep staring at Hype's cool.
Well, you know, the Packers have this famous fence where they paint like Matt Ramage on it and Tom Grossi and Nagler, and so apparently someone as a joke made Doug Hype also.
Is it? I was like, it's AI, right? That's not actually there because that would.
No, it's completely there. Vinny took a picture.
I mean, look at the grass. You can tell by the season that it's right now, and that if you look at that little electronic box over there, you can see 2026 and also August. You can
and it
see
says 2026. This is not AI on it, is what it says.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's talk about the Green Bay Mother Loving Packers and what we did this offseason. Now, not a ton of free agent signings, which I am perfectly fine with, by the way. We had to sign these new contracts. We still got to sign Tucker Kraft, guys, which is starting to worry me. It's not starting to worry me. I just want to get it done.
It'll get done.
I know it's going to happen. But I was saying before we signed Benjamin St. Juste that I wanted him if we were going to run a zone defense. I'm really happy with that. We got a returner in Sky Moore. We needed a fat boy on the defensive line. That's what Hargrave provides us. And if Zaire, I'm going to be honest with you guys, Quay Walker is a very athletic guy. He played really hard. I liked how he played, but he made so many mental mistakes. If we could do anything to replace what Quay Walker did, it would be to bring in a veteran that's going to be in the right place at the right time.
And we need a team leader at that position.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like at the linebacker position, our team leader was Isaiah.
You need like
McKinney,
a real team captain guy.
Didn't really pull a lot of water for me. So I like all of our signings, even though we didn't drop the bank on somebody great, there wasn't really anybody out there that I wanted.
Well,
to pay
2
big
years
top
ago, he
dollars
was
for.
great. He was all pro 2 years ago.
Right. Well, I'm
The
just
only
Last
saying-
year, not so much.
The only guy in free agency I wanted was Alontae Taylor, but not at that number.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the overall signing for corners,
Yeah. So Soders wants to know where the crown is. I mean, cowboy hat's kind of like a crown. So
I have it right over here, but I'm wearing my
Close.
cowboy hat for Cooper right now.
Yeah.
In the defense.
I've been watching a lot of off-season stuff, guys, and I've been watching a lot of rankings. And like, if you guys want to know how you can guarantee that someone's an NFL casual, they talk about how the Packers lost all these players and it's going to kill them this year. Because I can tell you right now, I was happy, other than Romeo Doubs and Malik Willis, who earned that money. I was perfectly fine with every single person leaving this locker room. Jenkins was atrocious last year. Quay Walker is not worth the contract that they gave him. Romeo Doubs got a lot of money. I wouldn't want to pay him that, but he earned it. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Malik earned his money. Enigbari, I guess I'm a little sad to see go, but if I ever see Enigbari on special teams ever again, even in a Jets uniform, I get PTSD. Like, he killed us so many times. So have fun in New York, Kingsley. Nate Hobbs was an absolute horrible player for us. Emmanuel Wilson was good, but like, again, he needed to go to a place where he was going to get more carries.
They let him go because Marshawn Lloyd is here to play. You know?
And Rasheed Walker was the 26th best left tackle last year. So like,
it might as well have been the worst. I didn't even
That's
care
what I'm
about
saying. The fact
got
that
a
nobody
$10
gave him a
million
contract. Yeah, 1 year, $10 million contract tells you everything you guys
and
need
then
to
he
know
was all
about
off
his
season
play.
to get a contract.
And
Yep.
he was touted before free agency started that he was going to be one of the
I thought
first
he'd get
guys
like
off
a
the board.
2-year. I thought he'd get like a 2-year,
He
24,
waited,
$25 million.
yeah, it
contract,
started
right?
Monday. He didn't get signed to the Friday.
Yep.
That tells you everything they need. And he's gonna have
This
to
is
play
what
a
I'm
big part
saying,
with
Soder.
Carolina now, and
This is what
Carolina's got to deal with it.
Soder, this is what I'm saying. Jordan Morgan's going to his correct position, left tackle. Franklin's an upgrade over Quay Walker because Quay Walker was in the wrong place a lot. I mean, Cisse, like, you know, a rock with a shoe attached to it is better than Keyshawn Nixon, so he's definitely an upgrade. And Golden obviously is an upgrade over Dobbs. And again, no offense to Dobbs, I love him as a Packer still, but he was our number one based on injury, not on talent. And
He was not worth $80 million.
and that's why we allowed him to walk, because we had more talent in the building, right? That needs reps. Golden needs reps, right? And we need to get to read the ball more. And yeah, so dude, I'm telling you, it's the anyone that says the Packers are not going to be good because they lost too much talent or they lost all these starters is you can tell immediately
argue with
that
a
they're
brick
casual.
wall.
Yeah.
Argue with a brick wall. They'll have a better conversation with you.
Yeah. So that's my feeling on the Packers offseason. This is the most happy I've been with an offseason in like 10 to 15 years, if I'm being honest. I mean, last year was pretty happy because of Micah. So, but I had a few issues
That came
with
late.
the draft.
You couldn't have gotten more late than when we got Micah. So
Yeah,
you're probably
that's true. It was
disappointed
like-
right up to that point.
It was like
You're-
the season had already started at
Yeah.
that point. Yeah, so it didn't really feel like the offseason. That is also true. So,
It really felt
Franklin
like
is
the
awesome. No,
it
he's
felt
no
like-
superstar. No, he's no superstar. But he's better than Quay because as
Yep.
good as Quay is, he was in the wrong place a lot.
He's not a Mike. He's a Will.
Yeah, he is
Quay
a
Walker's a Will. He's not a
Yeah.
Mike.
And
this
middle
was-
linebacker is not a superstar spot unless you're like
No.
crazy athletic.
If your name is not Fred Warner, you're not a superstar playing the middle of the field.
yeah,
Like,
there's
you're
no
just not.
superstars other than him.
And it was the offseason of Brian Gutekunst just exercising demons. He understood that he had last year, he had to keep some of the guys on the roster, and they were just ended up being bad decisions. That's why you get rid of Nate Hobbs. That's why you don't re-sign Dobbs. That's why
Yep.
a lot of these guys move on, even Rashawn Gary moving off of him this offseason. Exercising demon, cutting the fat, and bringing in the guys that you want to come back in. That's why there's a reason why this offseason and this training camp is felt so damn smooth. It feels like calm water over there in Green Bay at Ray Nitschke Field. It feels like calm. Like everything feels good. It feels like this is an easy process this year. There's no big storylines. I mean, outside of when we were all excited when Keyshawn Nixon decided to not practice that one day.
Yeah,
I
well,
wish
we
he
got
would have.
hopeful.
I wish he would have
Yeah, we
kept
got
doing
hopeful.
that. That would have been
I mean,
beneficial.
The
But-
Packers can still cut him. I
Yeah.
still got hope that the Packers. I still
You
hold
keep
out
he's
hope.
cheap labor. You're going to keep him because he's cheap
Yeah,
labor. That doesn't mean you
probably.
have to play him, which they
Yeah.
didn't today. You know, Cisse and St. Jude started off at the ones at the cornerback position, which was great. But
Yeah.
everything they brought in, it was fitting a certain mold that they're trying to push out there. And you add on to the draft that you got, they're all meeting toward a certain point of like the characteristic in the player and how the player loves ball. Ball is always number one with these guys. You look at Brandon Cisse. I don't know if he knows anything else in the world outside of football. I think that's
Yeah.
the only thing
He
I
was
don't even know
born
if
on
he
a football field.
does he even know how to drive. 'Cause
Probably not.
He's a football player. That's how much locked in he is as a football player. And you look at the rest of the roster.
I think, and not to like, dunk a shit in caramel and call it like sweet, but like I think us not winning the division last year kind of like opened up the eyes of Gutekunst and even LaFleur a little bit to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do business as usual. Maybe we should just draft for need, right? Maybe we should get rid of guys and change things.
Not always
up.
BPA, not always best
dude,
player available.
As much as I talk shit about Gannon's fourth quarter defense, this is the first coach that LaFleur has hired outside of his circle of friends, right? Which I think is a step in the right direction, which he should have done 3 years ago and 4 years ago instead of hiring Joe Barry, which was an absolute
Don't you say
decision.
that name? You just ruined my night.
I'm sorry. This is
You
why
just ruined my
I talk
night.
shit about. So what I talk shit about LaFleur. So like I'm just saying, I feel like there's been a mentality shift in Green Bay to where like we don't feel like the big dogs, right? We don't feel like we're stepping on our little brother Bear and whatnot anymore. And maybe we like need to reassess, and maybe that's a good thing, right?
It's been
Maybe
keeping
is a
up with the
good thing.
Joneses since Dan Campbell came into the division. That's
Yeah.
what it's really been like. And I could go on, and I'm not going to go on a soapbox on Jonathan Gannon's three high safety defense he showed family night that I was in love with. Maybe Wednesday.
Soder makes
maybe.
a good point. If we didn't have the worst kicking performance of any team in the league last year, we'd probably win 3 more games. Soder, I'm going to start a GoFundMe to get you a Trace Mack jersey, okay?
There's
there's
a line. There's a line.
There's multiple GoFundMes.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a Trace Mack jersey. By the way, I'm still excited about the Trace Mack pick.
Hey, he
Even if
looked
he's
good
not
family
to
night. He
start-
was kicking good.
I was gonna say, even if he's not good to start, we have had so much trouble finding a kicker. Like, he was the best kicker in college. Let's give him a chance. It can't be much worse than last year.
Well,
right?
I tell you what, the Bears special teams coach not putting on a whole coaching clinic during a press conference or their weekly press conference about holding the ball and how to kick it.
He really got into it. He's like, see, if you hold it at this angle, then you do this, and then you do that. And
Well,
it's
his whole
that's
thing
the
that he was
thing.
talking about on how he strikes the ball, not whether he makes it or misses, but how he strikes it.
Right.
It literally transitioned into family night where he was nailing them in Lambeau.
Well, and honestly, Ryan Longwell and Mason Crosby have put in a lot of comments towards this too, how difficult it is to kick in Green Bay with the crosswinds, how it's different than a lot of other places. And you have to learn to kick differently. Longwell's like, you can't have a big arc, and Crosby's like, you're gonna have wins, and you just have to accept it, and you better get used to it now.
Just kick
so like,
the piss out of it.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Both of them are like, dude, give the kid time. Like it's preseason, relax. Like,
well, also Rainishke Field is super windy, and Lambeau is much less windy.
Yeah,
Like
and
when they go
Rainishke
into
is
the
super-
stadium, the
Yeah,
wind just like is gone.
And the
Again,
goalpost
guys,
on Rainishke is not.
This is Green
not
Bay.
correct either.
There's no big buildings blocking the wind. It's basically like
They got
you
the Roush
Lambeau,
Center,
then-
and that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind on
They got the
Rainishke
Roush
Field.
Center and Corey's house to stop the wind.
Yeah, just Corey's house. That's it.
that's
How
a
would we
no-brainer
rank
for-
the defenses? Well,
Vikings.
Yeah.
At the top.
Vikings.
Just because of
and I'd
Flores. They
say
get the Flores boost.
Yeah, because
Packers with Micah would be 2. If without Micah, I'd say Detroit and then the Packers and then
I'm not
the
putting
Bears
Detroit
last
anywhere.
for sure.
Anywhere. The Detroit's like got to be third or fourth. Their
Yeah,
defense
that's what I'm
is
saying. Detroit
miserably
third,
bad.
the Bears 4th, but like us without Micah
Yeah.
at the end of the year last year,
Yeah.
we're pretty atrocious.
I would
honest.
even with Micah give the nod to Flores because he's just that damn good.
Oh yeah, the Vikings are number 1, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Like not
he's
even
like
a
Sean
question.
McVay on defense.
Yeah.
With coming up.
No,
with
they
shit.
are a top 4 defense in the NFL. There's no
Yeah.
question. So yeah,
No, I think Booker and Sweat are going to be complimentary. I think Bush is going to be helpful. So I think we'll be third. We won't be last, but
no,
we're
you'll
not
be
going to
last.
be good.
No, you'll be last. You have no help on your safety.
I think we're better in the Lions.
And-
I think Hutchinson is overrated. I think their
I
secondary
agree with
is
that.
just
I
as
agree
bad
with
as
that.
us. They got Campbell, and that's pretty much it. With us, we have
Their
Yeah,
safeties
because
are
they did
good.
lose-
We have
they
a little
did
bit
lose a
more.
beak.
If their
Well, they
safeties
got
play.
Dave, they got that guy from Ohio State last year that they drafted at D tackle who's okay. He was hurt for a lot of everybody was hurt on Detroit last year. So it's really hard to tell how good they are too.
It
But
must be
we
the
can tell
plants
the
in
Bears
Detroit
suck.
too.
So-
Just like in San Fran, it must be those plants, those car plants that are
Yeah.
just messing
Yeah.
them up.
Well,
General
let's
Motors.
let's take a look at the Packers actually last year in our rankings. So this is something interesting. And you guys, if you don't know this, the Packers finished 32nd in possessions per game on offense, with
Oh,
the lowest
God.
amount of possessions of any NFL team since 1999. Let that sink in.
Soder,
Since
close your ears. Close your ears.
27 years.
And we still finished middle of the pack in points scored, right? 16th in the league with the least possessions of any team in the NFL since 1999. That tells me this offense has way more to offer and way more potential. And I think this year you guys are going to see it.
That's on the
But-
coach. That's on LaFleur. That is everything that is on him solely is that.
Solely on
he
him.
doesn't trust something in this offense that he wants
Yep.
to cut down the games and limit the possessions. Because, damn it, why do we have to have 8 possessions a game? Why are we treating every other offense like they are world-renowned? They're going to run up 40 points on us.
Yeah.
Let's just get out of the huddle. If we could just get out of the huddle with like 8 seconds left, just get out of the huddle without
Yeah.
snapping the ball before 1 second left. Oh, my, we would score like 30 more points a game.
Yeah.
It's just the math is there in the possessions.
And it's like our defense started out so good last year. We were a top 5 defense. We were number 1 defense for like the first 3 weeks, right? When
Keyshawn
Micah
Nixon was a
killing
good
it.
corner.
And so you can see we finished 11. So that went down really quickly after Micah dropped. And I think LaFleur was leaning into the defense a little too much and not letting the offense cook enough because our offensive line kept having bad week after bad week. And he didn't want to get Jordan killed. I mean, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, right?
Don't.
So, yeah, I normally don't, though, Eddie.
Don't.
You know
I mean,
I
stick to the
normally
gimmick.
don't.
Don't. He deserves that is the biggest thing he
Yeah.
deserves the criticism on. It's
Yeah.
what he does in his second half adjustments. It's
And this is what we're saying, Soder. We should be up in the tempo. I'm perfectly happy winning games 35-30 and losing games 35-38. Like, I don't want to win 24-21 and just watch this like slowed down 1982 kind of NFL.
it's watching
football
paint
that
dry.
LaFleur
He
is
has an
trying to
offense
play.
that watches paint dry, but it's explosive.
Well,
Yeah,
we
and
also
we
didn't
were-
have any
we
possessions
didn't-
because we got no turnovers.
Yeah, we had the third least amount of turnovers in the NFL with the
Couldn't
Bears
catch the
had
ball.
first, right?
We
Yeah,
couldn't catch
no,
the ball.
We couldn't catch the ball. We could not catch the ball. But 15th in DVOA, right in the middle, right? Offensive DVOA, we were 14th. So we're just right in the middle of everything, right? Except the only thing that was really good was Jordan Love, if we're being honest. Third in passing DVOA, second in QBR, the highest interception to touchdown ratio in the NFL, the best on first down, the best on third down, the best against cover 1, the best against cover 3. Like, Jordan Love was unbelievable in these limited possessions
Only
where he
getting better.
had so much stress on his shoulders.
He's
So,
the king of
yep.
efficiency.
So
But
Cowboy
I remember you guys being so cheesed off so much because the offense wasn't working outside of Tucker Craft. Tucker Craft was the only thing a lot of times because none of the wideouts could get schemed open. They couldn't, even with Watson as fast as he is.
Well, it took till week 9 for that offense to really open up when Christian Watson came back. That was the difference of all.
And again, Kurt Benekert, who was our backup quarterback back in the day, knows the LaFleur offense. And he was like, the one thing the LaFleur offense requires is an X receiver that takes a safety and pushes it down the field to open up other wide receivers. And without Watson, we used Tucker Craft in that, and it actually worked fairly well. And then when he went down, Watson came back, and it kind of opened up the offense in the way that LaFleur actually likes to play. So, again, let's hope these guys stay healthy. But to me, this is easily a top 10 offense if we can just get a couple possessions and Matt LaFleur can actually just not sit on the ball all day. So, Dave, let me ask Dave.
I want to play devil's advocate then.
Go ahead.
Christian Watson, with his injury history, let's say he misses half the season again. What does
Very
the offense
possible.
look like?
I think Golden can replicate exactly what Christian Watson does.
Again, I think Golden's getting the most receptions anyway, and if Kraft is healthy all year, then we're good. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're saying you need the X to take the lid off of the safety,
yep.
It's a trusted. It's a trusted.
I know he's
X.
fast enough to do it.
Yeah,
well, no, Savion Williams will fill that role, right? And it won't be
Mm-hmm.
as good, Dave. Let's be honest, but Savion will fill that role now.
Well, the
And
difference
so-
is you got to throw the guy the ball. Like Christian Watson, where he would go on those deep routes, Jordan would throw him the ball. If it's anybody else, Jordan will have to throw the ball to the guy so that the defense respects that guy going deep.
Yeah.
Now, Savion Williams hasn't shown anything that you would want a defense would respect him going deep. Matthew Golden this early season, if this hypothetically happened where Christian Watson missed games, there'll be some sort of track record that defense would have to respect Golden going deep. But anybody else, if he goes down early, hypothetically, knock on wood, he doesn't, then that's where that shift gets changed, where you saw the cap on the lid on the defense early last year because he wasn't out there. And a lot of things were more intermediate before Christian Watson came back.
Yeah. No, the pushing the safeties and taking the safeties is what Kraft was doing so well too last year, where like I just want to see this offense with Kraft and Watson and Golden. I have really high expectations this year. I hope I'm not overextending myself, but like, LaFleur is a very good offensive mind. There's no doubts about that. Is he a great coach? I have questions, but as an offensive mind, I think LaFleur is very, very good. If he has the weapons and he lets Jordan Love cook, I think we finish top 3 or top 4 in points scored this year. But we got to stop playing this hold the ball and hold the clock game.
Yeah, his flaws are fatal flaws. He doesn't want to give up points on defense, but he doesn't want to create turnovers on offense. If they're going to speed the tempo up and throw the ball more, inherently Jordan Love's going to throw more interceptions just because he's going to be throwing the ball. If that is 7 to 8 more times a game, those are things that are inherently going to happen. And I don't think Matt LaFleur wants to live that way. That's why I don't think much is going to change in this entire offense, because he has made it very, very clear he wants to limit explosives on defense and he wants to limit turnovers on offense. How do you do that? Run the ball and create small possessions. And I just don't see him changing that.
That was a good question by DTV, like where LaFleur says he's tearing down the offense, right? Like I heard that and I was like, I don't know what to expect, because if it involves getting rid of end arounds, I'm all for it.
There's
no,
guys, end arounds and wide receiver screens are still in practice. They're not gone.
Yeah, and scoring points in the first half. Soder's right. We were really good at scoring in the fourth quarter and really terrible at scoring in the first quarter. Like, we did not get out to leads in almost any games, right?
10 points was the max.
That's what I'm saying. Like 7-3 sometimes. And then we would score a shit ton in the fourth. We were the second highest scoring fourth quarter team in the NFL.
And we gave up
the worst at the first quarter. We were the lowest in the first quarter. So it's
what do you sound like? Kind of sounds like you're describing the Bears, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of what you guys were too.
Caleb wouldn't do shit for the first half, and then the fourth quarter, he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I know. And we know it wasn't Johnson, it was Caleb. And ours is the opposite. We know it's not Love, it's LaFleur. So like LaFleur, LaFleur hit the gas pedal, where Ben Johnson's always on the gas pedal. And, Caleb just has to learn to drive. And so we know Jordan Love can do it. So hopefully LaFleur hits the gas pedal this year.
Well, Jordan Love answered DTV's question already, because I forgot who asked him about it at his presser. And he said, yeah, what it is in our installs, we used to install so many things during this time period, and then in season we wouldn't even use it. So it's just a waste of time. So it's really breaking down to, let's get to the core facilities of what we want to use in this offense and use that. Don't take time on stuff that are either not working in practice and still keeping it along, still trying to keep it along throughout the season, and you're just wasting reps, wasting opportunities. Get to what you know, because you already know, Matt LaFleur should already know head to toe what Jordan Love does, what he likes to do, and you build off of that. You don't just start trying to reinvent the wheel with a halfback flip toss backfield Dan Campbell dumb shit style stuff that they were probably doing that wasn't working in season. So it's really just cutting out the monotony of just bullshit play calling and getting back to what they actually want to run this offense like. And that is what rebuilding this offense from the bottom up is, just getting to what your core offense is going to be this year.
I think nothing that we just said matters. I think what matters is look at the 49ers. Shanahan knows, like people talk about how Shanahan knows every player and what they're supposed to do. His offense is so amazing with how the offensive line works. It doesn't even matter who shows up to practice. Their offense is going to be running, right? The Packers seem like they're running in circles like hamsters run into each other, being like, oops, I wasn't, like half the time they seem like they don't know what to do, how to adjust. The difference between Shanahan and LaFleur doesn't always seem to know how to utilize his personnel properly, right? He just puts the play in and it says, oh, you better be good at it. Whereas Shanahan, for some reason, seems to like be so intricate with all the little details and being so good on reading his team and what other players are doing. Like his stuff just always seems to work, running or passing. And that's the thing, is like, and you gotta admit that it was kind of surprising how bad the offensive line is last year, but that's also kind of the coach's fault too.
I'd agree with that. The cornerbacks can't be any worse than they were last year. That is an absolute fact. That is just an absolute fact. We were atrocious. So, yeah, I expect a lot from this Packers team as far as like changing their mentality. That's what it feels like to me. Not necessarily a shift in play style or a shift in bringing in a guy like Micah to change the team. I think it's a shift in the mentality of, hey, we've got to stop doing what we've been doing, because it's been working, but it's not working well enough. Like making the playoffs as a 7 seed is not good enough. How do we take the next step, right? How do we become division leaders? How do we get to NFC championships and ultimately get to the Super Bowl? Because, yeah, Matt LaFleur's been very successful, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't think he's been successful enough with what he's had.
Especially
right?
last year. He needs to manufacture. If they have a similar season as they did last year, they need to manufacture more adversity because that team did not face any adversity outside of injuries. You look game in and game out, there was no adversity. They never had to come back down from 10 or 14 points like they had in past seasons to where they understood how to win football games. They need to try and figure out other ways if that season is similar to manufacture adversity.
To be fair, Eddie, we have the second most fourth quarter comebacks right behind the Bears.
Yeah, but those fourth quarter comebacks are like by one score.
Yeah, that's true.
They never came back down 14 or 17 like Jordan.
Well, we never had enough possessions to do
that. That's part of the Matt LaFleur gimmick is that
the
he's
Bears
never
do that
technically
to
out of the game.
Yeah,
hey,
the Bears said,
were we ever down double digits?
That was on VHS, and I burned it, so it did not happen in reality.
All right, so that's the NFC North, guys. We all know the Packers are winning the division. We're just talking shit. So even Dave knows. He knows. He knows.
No,
all right.
Our offense is going to rise up, son.
I got something fun for you guys, though. We're going to switch to something a little bit different. All right, so we are going to do a tier list right now.
Ooh.
Just for fun. Yep.
I love tier lists. Tier lists are like the best thing that's ever been invented outside of the Green Bay Packers.
Because it helps smooth brains like us understand life.
And Ham's beer. It's inexpensive and it's still smooth, baby. The Hammy Bears.
You might break out a little bit, but you might break out, but it's worth it.
All right, so here's what we got, guys. Here's what we got. So we got 20 slots that we got to fill and 23 football players, okay? Or 20 slots and like 28 football players. We're going to pick the top 5 players in the NFC North, the 6 through 10, which are elite, the 11 through 15, who are very good, the guys with potential, 16 to 20, and some people are just off the list, okay? And I got at least 5 players from each of these NFL teams. All right. So at least 5. The Packers and Bears have 6, I think.
Hard.
So this is going to be tough because we can only have 5 per tier. We can't just dump a bunch of guys in the first tier, right? We actually have to figure out who is where and what is what. Now I got Caleb and Jordan to start, but I think maybe we'll come back to them later. Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun and start from the back end with Christian Watson.
I have a question before we start. Are we going to cement them into the spot where they're at?
So no, we're going to discuss it, Eddie. But remember, we can only have 5 in each row. So you can put a guy in a row and we can.
I think it'd be fun if wherever we put them, they have to stay.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know, but that might take longer. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Let's start with a consensus, and then as we add people, we'll move them around because it is going to be left to right. We're going to pick 1 through 20, and we're going to piss you off, and I don't care. So let's start. Let's start with Christian Watson. Do you guys think he's a top 20 player in the NFC North? Too injured? Do you think? I mean, this is based on right now. What is he right now going into this season as of today?
From all 14, probably very good.
I think he's maybe 16 to 20.
I was going to say he's potential.
Yeah, I think he's potential. Do you guys?
I have a fight for very good. Looking at this, I have a fight for it.
Yeah, I don't know. You think
I think very good.
There's a lot of players better than him, and we can move him later. Yeah. All right, so I'll put him in very good.
I think he's around 15.
He'll get slid down to potential in a bit.
Yeah, I think he will.
Hey, Dave.
Because honestly, and Doug, say the name of say Zach Tom's new name for me. What is it?
Baku Bawele.
Baco Bawele, I feel like is definitely better than Christian Watson.
For sure.
Is he a top 10 player in the division though? I don't know. He's close.
He's really good.
Close.
I mean,
he's close. There's a lot of good players in this division.
Damn it, Christian Watson's looking closer and closer like potential as we go.
That's what I'm telling you. He might even move farther down.
After only the second player.
Yeah. All right. So now here's a tough one. Actually, and I'll say this, Vikings fans, you might agree with me. Christian Darrisaw is actually kind of an underrated left tackle. He's pretty damn good for the Vikings. I think he's a potential guy as well. He's still pretty young. I think he's like a 16 to 20 guy. What do you guys think about
There's
Christian
only
Darrisaw?
one Viking on here that deserves to be anything but off the list.
that's correct.
All right, I'm gonna put him here, but I think you guys are wrong. I don't know. All right, let's go to Micah Parsons. I'm not even gonna ask. He's Bob.
Ooh, he's number one.
He might be the best player in the NFC North. I think there's 3 guys that can fight him for it. But I'm just saying he's in the conversation. That's all I'm saying.
He's in the conversation.
He's in the conversation for top 5. I think that's no question. We all agree he's Bob, right? Best of the best. Okay, Tucker Kraft. Dave, I'm gonna ask Dave. Dave, where's Tucker Kraft? Is he
Elite.
a top 10 player? Okay,
He
I
is
agree.
elite, definitely.
Agreed. Yep, Tucker Kraft is elite. All right, I love it. Okay, Doug, Alex Van Ginkel.
Oh, dude.
Former Badger. Led the team
The-
in sacks. Really good defensive player. Is he elite? Is he very good? Where's
So
Alex
he's the
Van
only
Ginkel?
player in the Vikings I don't want to send into outer space because he's a Badger and he plays really awesome. But he
And he's got
performs better
Viking
than
hair.
how he should.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And
He's a massive overachiever. I love that.
Yeah, I've been looking at lots of lists for like top rankings, and he's always way down. But he's always like in the top 10 for defensive player of the
That's
year,
what I'm
like
saying.
every year.
He gets like 12 plus sacks,
He's
3 interceptions.
He's an
4
RPO
fumbles.
killer. He's an
That's what I'm saying,
You
dude.
better not throw to his flag.
I
Van
think he
Ginkel's
might
a
be.
beast. I think he's elite. I think he's on the edge of elite. Like
I
maybe around
think he's
10.
very good. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, if we're going on flow, he's in Bob. But if we're going on just play, I think elite's a good place for him now. We can maybe move him.
he
later,
might go
right?
down to very good. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll
All right,
probably
so
go to very good, but it's a good
Joe
start.
Tooney, offensive lineman of the year. Dave, do you think he's Bob or do you think he's elite? Where do you put a guy like Joe?
The
Tooney?
inaugural NFL protector of the year, I must
The
say.
inaugural protector of the year. Yeah.
No, he's a Hall of Famer, so he's a Bob.
Yeah. I think Bob's fair. I think Bob's fair for Joe Tooney. All right, X. Where's X, guys? Is he elite or is he? I don't know if he's a top 5 player,
so
but
before we go one step further,
yeah.
so can you think of many players who would have gotten Super Bowl rings with 3 teams like he's going to do after next season? He's got
folks,
the Pats, he's got
folks,
the Chiefs,
don't
and
pay
he's gonna have
attention
the
to
Bears.
Dave. Yeah, he's
Hey,
not
I
getting a
remember
ring
when I
with
saw the
Bears.
yellow brick road.
Yeah, not getting a ring with the Bears. All right, X. Where we got guys? Where are we putting
He's
X?
a
Is he
multi-time
very-
All-Pro. You have to
He
start.
is.
You have to start him in a bop and then move him down because he's better than both the guys in elite.
Ooh, really?
He's
I
better
don't
than
know
he's
if
better.
he's
He's better
Bob.
than he's better than Tucker Kraft statistically.
All right.
He's a
All right,
multi-time
we'll start
All-Pro.
him there and we'll move him down if necessary,
Yeah.
which I think we will in about a minute here. All right, Darnell Wright, Dave, your best offensive lineman, just got his big contract. Where does he rank? Is he better than Zach Bolo? Say it again, Doug. Sorry, what is his name again? Zach
Bakaboile.
Bacaboile.
Just remember, it's David Bakhtiari. It sounds the same.
Oh yeah,
Bakhtiari.
Bacaboile.
Bacaboile.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good way to remember it. All right, where am I putting Darnell Wright?
Darnell
Dave?
Wright was second team All Pro at right tackle. Now that Penei Sewell is over to left tackle,
Yep.
he'd be the top. He would have been the top first team All Pro. So I think, and granted, he's young, so that's the only reason I say he's not a Bob. But I'd say he's elite, and I'd put him over the
Okay.
other 2 right now.
Ooh, no, not over Tucker. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't
Yes.
know. I
It's
disagree.
the All-Pros.
I
It's the
disagree.
All-Pros.
He is really good though. He is
Tucker
really
Tucker
good.
is not second team All Pro.
He would have been.
He
this
would have been
year.
first team All Pro if he didn't get hurt. Dave, you know that.
I'm pretty sure he would've been
Wright
first team
hasn't
All-
missed any games, and if you go back to watch some of the games last year, they just ran to the right and he just ran to a wall where he'd take out the DN and he'd take out the linebackers.
All right, fans, let us know in the comments how wrong Dave is. We're just gonna leave.
Well,
it where
right
it
now they're
is.
making out. Him and Tucker are there kissing
One of
each
them,
other.
one of
Right.
them's making $29 million pretty soon.
I'm putting Penei Sewell, and honestly, Dave, I think Penei Sewell is better than your boy, but he did just win the award. But I think Penei Sewell might be one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL.
Yes.
I think
He's not
I think
slowing
he,
down.
Totally
I think he's
legit.
actually better than Tooney. I think he is, but since Tooney won the award, I'm going to leave him behind him for now. But I think he actually
Oh no,
is a better player.
I'm fine with putting Penny 1, Tooney 2, and Micah 3.
Oh,
You see how he did that?
Micah
He
can't
I'll do
finish
that.
his season.
I'll do that. How about that? I'll do that. I'll
Micah
get-
can't finish his season. That's just it. He never
Ah,
has.
man, you can't finish a
Well,
sandwich.
well, how
so.
can Micah be behind Penei Sewell when Micah Parsons eats Penei Sewell's lunch?
Dude, Micah's beaten Panay a few
Yeah,
times.
Yeah, he beat
but
him pretty
can we
bad.
put
Not
Micah
many
behind
people
Panay?
do. Not many people do. All right, we're gonna leave him there. Okay, so this is shoot, what's this guy's name again?
Dallas
Shit,
Turner.
Dallas Turner. Is he even on the list?
He shouldn't
I feel
even
like-
be. He
no,
shouldn't even be
he-
in this argument.
Nah.
We
Well,
just
we
give it
gotta
to him
have
because of
some
Vikings.
Vikings
You
players.
gotta have
To
five
get
Vikings.
him.
Gotta have some Vikings players. Okay, Romo Dunze, is he on the list yet,
No.
Dave? Is he
Potential.
potential? Let's put him in potential for now. and
Yeah.
see how
Yeah,
it
he's
goes.
potent-
I think that's
for the
fair.
for the first
He's a
month, he did
first-round
awesome
pick.
last year before.
Yeah,
he hurt his foot,
He's
so.
got a great afro. I think that's
He's-
got potential.
Oh yeah, he's got the best hair
All
in the
right,
league.
Jameer Gibbs has to go in Bob. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a
there's
Bob.
And
just
this is where
no-
X leaves the list.
And and he's
This is
well,
where
that's
Xavier
fine.
McKinney
But
goes down.
I think he's right there. I honestly think he's like right. I think he might even be there. If no, he's not
No,
better than Micah.
think about it. When we played against him, we dominated.
yeah.
Gibbs didn't do nothing
That's
against
true,
us.
but he kills everybody else.
But we
so-
beat. But hey, the guy right there, number
Okay.
one, kicked his ass.
I'll put him there because you know what?
This is where X
coming
goes
off
down.
now.
This is where
because-
X
Yeah.
goes down.
Yeah, this is where X goes down. And then, okay, let's talk about this. Dave's obviously going to say Justin Jefferson's better. Is Justin Jefferson better than Micah Parsons, guys?
Not last
Let's
year.
be honest with ourselves.
Oh,
Not last year he
maybe
wasn't.
the
The top
second or
100
th-
doesn't say so.
He's the second or third best receiver in the NFL. I personally think it's Jamar Chase. Micah's the second or first best defensive, pass rusher with Myles Garrett. So, like, what's more
Who would you
important?
rather have on your team?
Micah Parsons. I'd
Yeah.
Who do you
rather
pay more?
Yeah,
Micah
I think I'd rather
Parsons.
have Micah Parsons. That's fair. Okay. All right. We'll leave it like that for now. Yeah, JJ's got to go there. All right. Where are we putting Sweat? Is he in potential? Is he just off the list? I mean, he's okay. Dave,
He's-
be honest. Where is he?
He'd probably be off the list.
I think so too. I think that's fair.
For
And
what he's
honestly-
Ahead of the Vikings, though. Ahead of the
I
Vikings.
think Hutchinson's off the list too. I don't think he's good, but maybe
I think he should be on
potential.
potential.
Yeah, potential's more fair. You're right.
The
Let's put him in
analytics say he's
potential.
still a top 5 edge.
Yeah, he had a good amount of sacks last year. All
He
right,
didn't do
where's
that. He
Jared?
doesn't do that great against us.
Where's
but-
Jared Goff? Is he off the list? Is he? I mean,
He's
he can't
off
be
the list.
potential. He's old. Yeah.
I think you
I
have
don't
to
know.
put
This
him
is
off
where it
the
gets
list.
to be tricky because he's actually thrown the third.
I mean, he was,
most
like, third in yards last
touchdowns over
year.
the last 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we just shitting on Jared Goff?
He
he's-
could be in very good.
I think very
he's
good
very
for now
good,
is fair.
honestly.
I think Goff
Let's
should be
put him
very
in very
good.
good for now.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, let's put him there. Okay, and that's Colston, Dave. Where are we putting him? Is he elite? Is he near the Tucker Craft world? Colston,
At
it's only
this
been 1
point,
year.
we've seen a solid 6 games from him, so I'd put him at simply because he hasn't done it long enough for very good. I can't put him. I got to give respect to Goff just because he's done it for, like
Yeah.
I said, the last 4 years. So
Yeah,
I'd
I
put him
think
behind
this.
Goff.
I think this is more fair right here.
Yeah,
That looks
in
about right.
like 2-3 years, he can go up to elite,
Yeah.
but right now, he still
Okay.
have to see more.
And then Amon Ra, is he Bob or elite? What do you guys think about Amon Ra?
He's elite. He's not a Bob. He's
yeah,
elite.
I kind of
He's
agree, but
elite.
I think he's like top of the elite, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's top of the elite.
He's pretty good, man. I mean,
He's-
I don't know. Him and X, I'd
And
say
I
are
know
about
that there's a
even.
difference between real football and fantasy football, but he's
Right.
scored number 3 in fantasy football for the last 2-3 years, right?
No,
Doug?
and he is a very good receiver. Let's be
Oh, yeah.
honest. Like I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
The work ethic,
Kyler,
everything else.
Bob, right, guys, right?
Kyler
Vikings
Murray's
fans?
the number one.
Straight to hell.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I want to put Jordan Love in Bob, but I think I can't do it because
No, he goes in elite and then
He
pushes
goes in
Van
elite.
Ginkel
You're
down.
right. No, that's true. He goes right there. I feel like
Van,
And
does
then
Van
that
Ginkel get
means-
knocked down?
Darnell Wright has to go down. I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
dude.
Van Ginkel.
Oh, come on. All right, fine. I
Does
like
Van Ginkel even go ahead of Zach Tom?
No.
All right. I like Van Ginkel, but you're right. That's
I
probably
yeah,
think
Van
Van
Ginkel's
Ginkel's
a
very
beast.
good, but that's why he's not very good.
But
Okay.
has Tom really done it long enough to
Yeah.
be?
Yes,
yeah.
Zach Tom's been
Van-
dominant his entire career.
He's
They
been he's had
started,
three
yeah.
he's had 3 dominant like 3 really
Yep.
good productive years at right tackle.
Okay.
All right. And now let's be honest about Caleb. He should go right about here in potential. Don't you guys
Uh,
think?
Yeah,
I
he's
think
potential.
Yeah, he's potential. He's
I'd put him
you think he's
behind
better?
Hutchinson, honestly.
I think he's better. I would push
Very
Colston
good.
Love. I would push Colston Loveland down and put Caleb there.
Or even Watson? So like
no, I
Caleb,
think Watson
like,
showed enough. I think Colston Loveland needs a bigger
Caleb like
surface
right
level.
here, maybe in front of
Yeah, and you
Jared
push
Goff this
Colston
year.
Loveland down just because of the like sample size.
Well,
Sample
it's,
size.
Well,
it's
Watson
because
has
of
been
his
around
rushing.
So much longer, and his sample size is barely much
But
bigger than Loveland.
There's
That's
there's
fair.
I'd
there's
put Loveland
Dave's
over
right.
Watson.
I kind of put Loveland over Watson too. In this Ben Johnson offense, I think Loveland's just gonna cook, man.
I think
So-
I think with you were able to still have a long period of time of the year without having Colston Loveland be a part of it and still be productive. But there's a difference when Christian Watson enters the field. That's when the entire offense took the second level.
I mean,
for the
Christian Watson
Packers.
did over those last 9 games have better 9 games than
He
Loveland.
was the
because
fifth
Loveland
best wide
showed up
receiver
late
in the
too.
league
Dave,
when he
remember, he
played.
wasn't playing a lot to start
Okay.
the year, and so he kind of came on late. Christian Watson came on
Like,
late and
Colston
did
Loveland
better.
was a beneficiary of this offense already growing. Watson was the primary reason the Packers offense started taking that next level leap.
I'd say it's close, but I guess it's either
Yeah, but
way.
you guys
Like,
have to
where
also
they're at right
understand
now,
the Bears' offensive line is possibly the best in the league, so Loveland benefited from that a lot also.
Well, now we got to put Darisaw back up here, and
I'm fine
I
with
feel
that.
like Dallas
He
Turner
has
does
no-
have
No, Dallas
He's
Turner is
got
off the
no.
list.
He's
Sweat.
got no numbers. He's
So
a bust.
Sweat.
The only thing
Okay.
that Dallas Turner has is the Vikings killed themselves when they gave up draft picks to move up to get him.
Yes.
That's
true.
the only thing that makes
They
him
have no
mentionable.
idea what they even have in that guy.
No,
Okay,
I think this is pretty solid.
I think that's pretty good.
I think
Let's
it's
take a
very,
look
very
here.
fair. I think it's very fair.
I think that's pretty
and
fair
unbiased.
for very biased Packers and Bears fans.
Okay, each of us should pick one thing they think is wrong on the list, though.
Well, you guys gave
I-
yourself 4 of the top 9, so there's a little bit of bias there.
Oh yeah, big time. But to be
Yeah,
fair,
that's not good enough.
to be fair,
Parsons should
Peniel-
be number one.
Penel Sewell's number one, and I actually kind of agree with that. Because Parsons, because of the injury history, Penel Sewell's like not missed a single game. Ben, I think
that
the best
Samoan
offensive
bloodline.
lineman in football. Like, I think he belongs at number one. Just saying.
I
think that's
disagree.
fair.
Parsons just
Okay.
dominates him.
He does. I mean, he
If
eats his
he-
lunch.
Right. Well, when he's healthy, though, if Parsons stays healthy all this year, then we'll
He
readjust.
did it in
next year,
Dallas
right?
too. He beat his
He
ass in
did.
I'm
Dallas.
not.
he
I'm
did.
not going to hold that against Parsons for getting injured.
No, it's true.
If it
Half of the
happens, if
games
it happens
every
again
year.
this year and it keeps being a thing, then sure. But
Yeah.
Doug,
okay.
it happens every year. You can't say it. It's happened
Yeah.
every
yeah,
year.
but
of
I
his
don't. I don't
career.
remember
That is a
that
thing.
when he was on the Cowboys. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
He became reborn when he came to a good franchise.
Yeah.
But
No,
by the time you got
I'll give Dave Darnell Wright over Zach Bakhtiari.
Well, follow the money. Follow the
But
money.
like,
Even,
I don't know, dude. I think Zach is a better player than Darnell Wright. I just do think he's better, but I think they're close. I think it's pretty close.
Darnell's
So-
a dominating right tackle.
Darnell,
Darnell's a big
you
push
run behind
around.
Darnell, he is.
But
a
if you look
ball.
at Zach's like sacks
don't get
allowed
sacked,
numbers,
you
and
none.
like he didn't give up sacks for like 2.5 years, Dave. Like he's got the longevity of
And he's a
being
good run blocker too.
an
It's not like he
excellent
doesn't
right
run
tackle.
block.
But maybe
Yeah.
Darnell Wright is better this year because Zach's coming
Darnell
off an
Wright
injury.
sets an attitude for your team.
Yeah,
He's
No, it's
like,
fair.
"Okay,
They're-
we
they're
gotta
close,
be badass. Green Bay,
yeah.
you
No,
don't
I'll
quite
give it
have
to
that
Darnell
same
Wright.
mentality.
We
for
don't
the
know what
offensive
that means
line.
in Green Bay, Dave. Okay, we just
Yeah,
try to throw
we don't
a
set
football in the air.
mentality. We don't do that.
We
No.
don't do that. We drink wine. Okay, we're in
Hey.
wine country.
Yeah. All right. And I do think this is pretty fair. I think Van Ginkel, Caleb, Goff, and Watson is a pretty fair row. Loveland and Rome.
We're going to
can
get a lot of
obviously
hate
move
out
up.
of that Hutchinson because people have him through the roof for some reason.
I don't understand why. Like dude. Okay, here's why I think Zach is so good. Do you know how many hurries Hutchinson has against Zach Bolo and Wele in his
Probably
career?
what, 2.
0.
I was
None.
giving Aiden a little bit of
Not
credit
a
I thought
too.
Hutchinson
single-
lines up over the left tackle.
No, he's
a right tackle guy.
No, he was lining up over the right tackle almost exclusively and had 0 hurries in his career against Zach. So think about that, right? I bet he's got some on Darnell Wright. I'm just saying. So anyway,
Well, yeah, I mean Darnell Wright is a beneficiary of a also good guard to where he can play off that end to
Well-
get to the linebacker and be a more road grader.
Well, that was one
downhill
of the interesting.
blocker.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting things that I mentioned to the guys because when you look at our right guard, when he was in Detroit, he was awesome for Ben Johnson. Then he got paid. He went out to Sean McVay and the Rams, and then they decided no, this isn't working out. After 1 year, they decided we'll just cut you. We'll pay you to not play here. So Ben was able to scoop him up for only $16 million, and then he became an All-Pro again. It's easy to look like a badass right guard when you're playing with Penei Sewell and then with Darnell Wright, but I think it's also a system. So I think he's elite given what the scheme is and the people around him. So I just think that they're multipliers side by side. So that could be a
yeah,
part
I think
of it too.
Yeah,
I think
the
Darnell
force
Wright
multiplier,
has a
yeah.
ton of potential. I just think Zach Bakhtiari has been the second or third best right tackle in the NFL for 3 years.
Yeah.
Until he
Where
got
was
hurt.
Darnell Wright drafted?
Was
He was
second round?
drafted 9th.
Oh, he was top
he-
10. That's right. Yeah.
Or, yeah,
Zach Tom
he
was like a 5th round pick or 5th
Yep.
round draft pick.
Yep. Dude, but
Yeah,
that's how
we-
we do in Green Bay.
Well, we took Darnell Wright over the D tackle on the Eagles because we didn't
Jalen Carter.
have the call.
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't
right.
have the infrastructure there to take a wild card like Carter.
Yeah.
For the Eagles, you already had Simon there and whatnot. You already had the badasses on the defense to get them in line. Who knows what the hell would have happened in Chicago? And looking back at it, they both got huge contracts this year. But given what the Bears' offense is, it's just a perfect compliment having that Mauler at the right tackle for Ben Johnson. So I think,
Zach,
it did. A lot of people question in the beginning. Now it's looking pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
Zach is better than
Exactly what I'm
according to
arguing,
PFF.
Soder. I'm fighting the good fight for Watson on that one,
Yep.
Soder.
Well, and Dave's happy because the top 2 Bears on the list are the offensive linemen, right? So 2 offensive linemen, then Caleb, then the
Which I
skill
think Caleb is
position players.
easily. I mean, I think just the ability. I mean, Goff is a merchant of a great offensive line and having a ton of time.
Yeah,
and that's why
yeah.
Caleb was successful this year at a ton of
Yeah.
time. Now, is it sustainable? We'll see.
Yeah,
Time
we
will tell,
see.
but
Time will tell. No, I think.
But
this
I
is
just
a
also want to bring
pretty
out that I
fair list.
vastly overpaid for Watson too, right?
Yes, he did. Dave
You-
traded
that's
for
what-
Watson, and he paid way too many draft picks. But you know what? Watson could have a huge year for you, Dave.
He
It
is.
is
He's gonna
possible.
have
He could be a number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, he could be. He could be your number
he's going
one.
to get you 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, Dave. And we're going to be talking about this in week 17. And you're going to be like, you know what? Put that asshole in Bob. Put him in
Yeah.
Bob right now.
Yeah, right. All right, everybody. So that was our tier list. That was a lot of fun. The Sturgeon Bay Slinger up here. What do you got to say about the tier list there, Doug?
I'm gonna protest. Baco Wele is better than any of those Bears people. PFF thinks he's like a whole tier above him. So I'm also protesting Parsons being behind the guy that he completely dominates every time they play. So I mean I'm using a thing called common sense. I don't know. I've never used it before, but I'm trying it for the first time
It's expensive.
today. Yeah, I know. It's
I
weird.
just want to say my people have learned not to trust people in cowboy hats.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You know,
Going back to about 200 years.
That's facts.
I'm wearing this for Edger and Cooper, who's an African American cowboy. So how do you feel? I don't know how we feel about that. We're crossing many lines here. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say it's funny. I'm wearing Honolulu blue. Eddie's in green, Dave's in Bears colors, and Doug's looks like he needs to go arrest somebody. So he's definitely
I'm in
representing the
two-tone
Vikings.
right now.
We don't take kindly to your kind
We don't
around
take
here.
kindly.
Oh man, the Vikings! So many people in jail.
But this is fun to do the tier list because it makes us really think about like, oh, how do we value these players? And like Dave might value the Bears offensive lineman, but more than I value the Packers offensive lineman because of the system you're in and what they do for your system. And also you get to see them every day. And so that's why I think these shows are interesting because it doesn't mean that one person's right or wrong, except I'm right.
Yeah. Well, the hat says so. And if the Hammond pros would have taken Cardi, he would have been passed out in the basement in Hammond
He would've-
already. On
he would
slits,
have been bad.
Yeah, no, probably the right move by the Bears in the end, but time will tell. All right,
Literally
everybody,
the
thanks
right
for
move.
watching. Thanks for the live show. We're gonna come back next week. We'll have more preseason stuff and
Well,
maybe
some Packers
we'll-
football done.
Man,
Whoa, we're playing
Packers football's
Rodgers.
coming. Yeah. We'll predict how many tackles Rodgers gets at linebacker next week, and we'll go.
He's so far during practice, he has 2 hurries so far.
Yeah, I
Two
saw
hurries.
that. He gets all in there like,
It's
hey,
more than Rashawn
Boogeyman's
Gary the
here.
last 7 games last year. And I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
practice.
He probably
Talk
cursed
about
him. You are
practice.
cursed, quarterback.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week. And like always, go Pack, go and
Bears still
fuck,
suck.
Go Pack, go, baby.
and fuck Hammond, Indiana.